Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of YBMcast with Matt and Brian. We want to thank you for watching. Appreciate your support. If you love what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit the dinger, get all the notifications of upcoming shows. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. Just / Youth Baseball Midwest. That's where we're at. So we want to first and foremost appreciate one of our sponsors, Game 7 Baseball, Dave Penning, Dave Schmidt. Those guys do a great job here in the St. Louis metro area doing baseball. They're going to be down at Ballparks of America again this year. That's always that's a nice park down there. That's all a lot of fun.
Yeah, they did a good job with it.
Yeah, and they've got Tennessee over around the Nashville area. Jody Witt over there runs some great tournaments. They're going to be in Illinois. Great tournaments. Game7baseball.com. If you're looking for a great weekend of baseball, register your team today. Thanks a lot, guys. Big shout out to Game 7 Baseball. So we have today on the show Mr. Nuru Allen, coach of the St. Charles West Warriors. Did I say that right?
Yes,
Warriors,
sir.
right?
Yes.
I mean, I was sitting there, it's like, it came into my brain. I was like, is that their mascot? How you doing, sir?
Well, thanks for having me.
Hey, no, appreciate you coming on the show. We're talking a little baseball with him, get a preview of the St. Charles West Warriors. There it is. That's hard to say, WW, right? You guys are in the North Division this year, Orchard Farm, St. Charles High, Warrenton, Winfield.
Yeah.
And so what you looking at this year, man?
Well, our conference, especially baseball-wise, has been fairly competitive, a lot of parity. We're hoping good things in our conference. We've had 2019, I guess that's the last time we played. We've had.
Funny, you got to think about that.
Yeah.
But you're not the only one. Everybody's thinking, they're like, was it 18 or 19?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
It's been
crazy.
a year, though.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
But no, I just can't wait to get out there to compete, just to see, what we got, what the other teams in our conference have, and it's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. So, you guys are sitting on that bubble. We were kind of talking a little bit about that before we sat down here at the desk. Classifications, they added a new class. Mm-hmm. So, where does that put you guys? Where do you think you're going to sit in that?
Man, we were class 4 2 years ago, and with the new classification, I see us being on that borderline of being class 4, maybe bumping up to class 5. It all depends on, what our enrollment says. Also, I think the reclassification, if there's teams that have won state in our class, gets a bump up for some point system, I think. I'm not real sure about that. I'm sure other coaches do know about that, but I think we'll still be class 4. Mm-hmm. And you just see, either way it goes, I just want to play. That's it. I would love to, they put us in class 6 and we'll face the Howls and everything, that'd be interesting. Wouldn't necessarily enjoy it, but as long as we're out there playing, that's all I care.
That's been kind of a common thing, though.
Yeah.
For everybody that has showed up, whether it's a player, whether it's a coach, everybody literally just wants to play, mm-hmm. Which is awesome, because I think everybody has a whole new respect for actually playing the game when it's taken away from you, which we've touched on many times.
Yeah.
But you guys play a lot of those non-conference games, though. You play the Dumalt East. Yep. You'll play Timberland.
Yep.
Who else you have on there? I think you've got.
We'll play like St. Dominic.
So you're not,
you're not running
fearing away from anybody that's good. I mean, you're going for the big guys because I think it makes them better.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. I mean, some of the better games we played 2 years ago were against those teams. I mean, we split against St. Dominic. We went toe-to-toe with Timberland. who else? Lutheran St. Charles. We played
Yeah.
played them pretty tough. So there's been several schools on our schedule that are, classified as the bigger schools, and we've held our own. We've competed, and that's what our teams will do is compete. Doesn't matter if it's a quote unquote lower end team or a bigger school. Just we will go out there and compete against anyone.
I think that's true, and I've been around enough because Justin, my son, he played at Zumwalt East, and they played you guys every year, and it was always a good baseball game. Always a good baseball game. So I think that shows a lot of if you're willing to go on the road, go play somebody, get in a tournament to where, hey, you know what, fellas, these are some big boys. Let's go out and compete. Let's see where we're at. And it only sets you in motion for your conference, your actual district, and who you're playing and where you're going to sit within that district. Yes,
Absolutely. Just seeing that competition, you can see how your players respond to it too. You'll get some players that just relish the opportunity to face those bigger schools, face that pitcher that's throwing upper 80s, low 90s, just wanting to compete. And that's what I want to see from my guys. I want to see them wanting to compete against the best, not shy away.
Well, and to segue into some of the players that you have on your roster, you've got a guy that could be upper 80s, could touch 90 this spring.
Absolutely.
Josh Newell. We could discuss Josh and what other seniors or juniors you have that you're looking to really rely on.
Yeah. Josh is going to be one of those guys for us. I mean, as a freshman, he came in. When he was a freshman, and I had him in PE class. There was something about him, and I saw him. And I'm an assistant varsity football coach up at St. Charles West, and for the longest time, I was like, "You're going to go play football. You're going to play football. You should come out and play football." And then Coach Bonner decided to step down, and I ended up getting the baseball job. That conversation started to change. It all of a sudden, that wasn't necessarily. It's like, well, if you want to play football, that would be great, but I can't wait for you. How's baseball going? You pitch, you play short and stuff. So, but no, he's a tremendous kid, and he's a tremendous talent. He's a multi-sport athlete. He's a 2-year starter for the basketball team, and he only played for us as a freshman, and we was our starting shortstop. Had him pitch one game and kind of had some arm fatigue going on, but you could just tell the work he puts in and the things that he's doing to get his body right to play the game of baseball and to play basketball, and he's going to be tremendous. He'll send me little videos of himself pitching. I know the other day he hit 87, and his 87 doesn't seem forced. It seems he's very smooth with everything that he does, and so I'm expecting big things. I know he might be a PO for the summer team. I'm not sure, but I know that he's going to be an all-around player for us, and I'm expecting a huge year.
he's the tone setter, correct?
Pretty much him and Ray Rico. He's a senior, and he's the only guy on our team that has more than 1 year of varsity experience. Ray started as a freshman, and he was a starting shortstop for us. Then he moved to the outfield, and he can play everywhere for us. And he's going to be another guy that's going to be on the mound for us to give us that 1-2 punch.
So those are your Tuesday, Wednesday guys, huh?
Unless something changes, and for some reason somebody comes in that just impresses us even more than those two. Those are our two guys. Okay. Those are our two guys.
So tell me, Ray Rico, what's his? Talk a little bit about him as far as when you saw him as a freshman, what does he bring to the table as far as leadership?
Well, when I saw him as a freshman, I was coaching at High. I was the JV coach and helped out varsity at High. And when I first saw him, I was like, that's a little guy. How is he a varsity player? And then you see him out there on the field, and he just gets it. I mean, he knows the game. He's savvy. And his dad is one of our assistant coaches, and he used to be a former varsity head coach at West, and he just is instilled a great work ethic for the game, and he has a chance to be have a special season this year, and I'm expecting a lot of leadership, which he hasn't been in a role to display his leadership. He's kind of showed his leadership by example on how he plays, but I'm expecting him to kind of take his game up a notch. Not only with him, with Newell, and we got a couple other guys on the team that I'm expecting to make big jumps for us to be successful this year.
Well, it sounds like you got two guys that are lead by example guys with Rico and Newell. I know Newell well, super athletic kid, great family, humble kid.
Absolutely.
He's a show up and work and follow me type of person. It sounds like Rico's kind of the same way, which is great, especially for those younger kids, because you're kind of in a situation that everybody else is in, where you necessarily didn't get to see the freshmen and the sophomores last year.
Right. Yes.
So you need help.
Yes. Yes.
Just like every coach, you need help, right? And who better than to rely on than kids on your team?
Right.
Right.
So Rico's your senior. He's a senior, right? Newell's a junior. Who else is there that is going to play a big role for you guys this year?
Well, we've got Grant Mindorf. He's a lefty pitcher for us. He's about 6'5", and I'll say he's 250. Give or take a little bit. He was one of the offensive linemen for our football team. Yeah, he is a big boy, and he's putting in the work. He's not as hard a thrower as Ray and Josh, but he can find the zone. He can, he's more of that Andy Pettit, kind of hitting spots, make the batters get themselves out than trying to blow you by them. So,
soft contact.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're really relying on him. He's going to be a big part because not only with the pitching, because he's going to be our number 3, but also just with the hitting. I mean, he's a big guy that has a lot of pop in his bat. And then as a sophomore, when he played a little bit on varsity, I think it was more of a confidence issue that he wasn't like just driving the ball and just knowing that, hey, I'm a big kid that's got quick hands that I can should be able to hit the ball all over the place. Right. So I think with him being older with a lot of confidence, I think he's gonna pretty much be one of those players that's gonna dictate where we go this season. Him and we've got Cole Grambling. He's another multi-sport athlete. He's a wrestler. I've heard that he's made tremendous strides in the pitching aspect, and so I'm looking forward to see what he can do. I was really looking forward to see what he could do last year. He was going to be that guy to kind of like, hey, Josh is pitching, so we're going to have Cole play short. Okay, Ray's pitching, so then we might move him in the outfield. We might use him at catcher. We might use him at second. So he was going to be our do-it-all. Now, this year, with obviously the seniors from last year not being here, he's going to have to step up either catching, third base, wherever. But he's going to be one of our key guys as well.
So you got some guys that are there. What are you looking at? And I know it's tough. Freshmen, sophomores. How do you feel in? What's that going to look like coming into this? I know you're in the same boat as everybody else. How are those spots going to get filled around those guys?
Man, it's going to be interesting. That's all I can say. I mean, we have ideas. We will come in like, okay, we think that this kid, me and the coaches, and I got a tremendous staff. We always talk about, lineups. If we had our ideal lineup, what will that look like? And this year is the one year that you don't know. I mean, we know that Josh is going to be shortstop. We know that he's going to be one of our starting pitchers. We know Ray is going to be on the field somewhere. Now, where that position is, we don't necessarily know, but we know that he's going to be on the field and he's going to be on the mound for us.
Right.
And we know about Grant being possible first base and whatever. But we've got, couple freshmen that, could possibly serve a role in the varsity. This kid, Carson Quinn, he's a freshman, but his kid's work ethic is off the charts. And he, whenever sport that he's in at that time, that's all he cares about. And he's playing basketball right now. That basketball's his main focus. And once basketball's done, hopefully he'll come out, baseball, and he'll have that same drive for us. We got him, his brother. He's Kyle. He's a sophomore. I like the way he looked before the season ended last year. I think he's going to help out and play a role in the varsity as well. And then we got a kid named Darius De Carlos. He's a soccer player, and he's a kicker for the football team. A tremendous athlete. Like, this kid is fast. Like, he has no idea how to do something slow. He no idea. And I think
I love that.
Yeah, like he just goes, and he could be a player for us that could really wreak havoc in the sense of, being on the base pass, stealing, possibly tracking stuff down the outfield. But, he doesn't play that much baseball. So he's kind of an unknown, because he can come in and he can light the world on fire.
You got an athlete, but you're just not sure where that fits yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like, though, and this is everybody, tryouts are going to be huge for you.
Yeah.
Because, you got to evaluate a lot of kids that you didn't get to see last year. But then also after tryouts, the first 4 weeks, really.
Yep.
Because you've got a lot of kids that are very athletic, for one, but it's translating that athleticism into baseball.
Right.
Right.
And then as a coach, trying to say, okay, where can you be the most successful based on what you're showing me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck.
So let's move into
But that's
this.
good, though. But you'd rather be in that situation, right, and have a bunch of athletes that you have to figure out what to do with them, and then say, well, I got a lot of kids that they take great BP, but they can't move. What am I going to do with them?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I enjoy that.
It could be
problem.
exciting. I think it's going to be exciting for you.
I'm looking forward to seeing what we got. That's the thing, and with missing last year and that taken away, this has just re-energized myself, the coaching staff, just to go out there and just get our hands on these guys, just to see what we can do. And we've seen some things like, okay, we can work with this kid. There's a sophomore that came in the other day, didn't know much about him because last year I didn't see him, and he was going to be a JV kid. But he came in, this kid's Barrett Disselhorst, he was swinging the bat, and just look at him swinging, how strong he looked. I was like, man, that is something to work with. I mean, if he helps out this year, that's just a bonus. But just for the next couple years, to know that we could have a bat like that in the lineup, that just gives me a lot of confidence of where we're going.
I think you're going to see a lot of kids grow
Yes.
in your
gonna be-
program
Yeah.
this spring.
GAC, where do you guys think you're finishing first? Let's talk about in your division. Where do you guys see yourself?
Pressure, no pressure.
I don't mean I think it's being realistic. Be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to say we're going to win it all. No,
Right.
Where do you see yourself stack up? Do you see yourself stack up pretty good in that division?
I see us competing, but that's the great thing about our division, that every team can compete for that conference championship. I mean, 2 years ago, Orchard Farm ended up. No, I lied. I'm sorry. Warrenton ended up winning our conference.
Okay.
And stuff. But every team was right there, and I think we ended up last. Now I look at our team, and I look at the talent in our team. I know our talent can compete with anybody in our side of the conference,
Yeah.
But I guarantee every coach on, from Orchard Farm, Warrenton, Winfield, St. Charles High can say the same thing, And I look, and I pay attention closely to High, because that's where I came from. That's where I got my start in coaching. And there's, a couple players that I coached. This is my last connection with High, but they got a picture that I saw on Twitter that, hit 90, 91. Sam Meyer, and he and I saw him as a freshman, and I coached him, and I knew that he was going to be a talent. And so I know if you got, in our side of the conference, you got a kid that's throwing 90, 91, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, because we're not, on our side, we don't have the big schools, we're not the Liberties or the Howes and everything else. But if you got a kid like High has, it has the kid that can throw 90, 91, we got a couple kids that are hitting upper 80s that could possibly hit 90 and everything.
Sure.
That's a big advantage in our conference, in our side.
Well, yeah, it is. I think it's a big
I think
advantage
it's
in any conference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because think
But
about.
they're in a
Go ahead.
different area because you think about, let's take Warrenton, for example. There's always good players out of Warrenton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. And then you get Orchard Farm, and somebody will say, hey, where do you go to high school? And you're like, Orchard Farm. I play for Orchard, but I'm going to play for Orchard Farm. It's not, hey, I live over there, I'm going to a private school. But those kids in those pockets stand out
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a different area. It's nothing against the areas, it's just a different area.
And you look at Warrenton; they're putting some money into their programs. I mean, their new facility, their baseball facility, is really nice.
There's some
I've been
good
out there.
players
Yeah.
in that 21, 22 class from
Exactly.
out there.
So it's not, like you said, it's not a cakewalk.
No.
Walking through this division, it's really not. It's a good baseball, and it's going to take. And we were talking about this. Matt and I were talking about this at the PBR event. You got a kid that's throwing that 90 plus on a given day. High school, I think that's so difficult for the simple fact that you're walking through. You might see a kid in the high 70s. And then tomorrow you got this kid blowing 90 past you. By the seventh inning, you might have fouled one off because you finally caught up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that difficult.
Yes.
Because you're not used to seeing that kind of velocity on a consistent basis, right?
100%. Just within that game, the same game. If you got someone throwing high 80s, low 90s, and then you come in and raise somebody that's throwing 75 or whatever, I mean, that 75 kid could dominate just because you're keeping them off balance, get them out on their front foot, and then they're hitting either rolling over or hitting weak.
Well,
fly
it would
balls
really be
places.
ignorant if they pulled a 90 guy for 3, a 75 guy for 2, and then to close it with another 90 guy.
I mean,
That's what you just say.
you're the skill.
Congratulations.
It's high school, and these kids are still learning to see these things. It's not that D1 collegiate or professional level that.
Well, it's the percentage of how many kids go to play college baseball, right?
Right.
It's not high.
No.
It's just tough.
If you've got a D1 arm throwing high school, you have to think there's probably 4 or 5 guys in that lineup that aren't going to play college baseball.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
6, 7. I'm not saying they can't hit them, but it's just he could dominate for 5, right?
Right.
So that's it. I don't care who you play for.
Yeah.
No.
I don't care who you're playing against.
That's true, man.
You get a 90s guy, it's a different ballgame in high school. So
What do you see for the state? I mean, I know you probably focused mainly on yourselves and what you guys are doing, but have you been watching or looking around the state, kind of seeing rankings wise?
I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't seen anything ranking wise with teams in the state. And I know like Kansas City side or whatever. I couldn't even tell you anything about it. I know there's
all
a
right.
Blue Springs because I would drive from Nebraska over here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and that's no disrespect to that side or anything. I just don't know much about them.
Right,
I know with because our area is just it's tough enough. You think of the around the St. Louis area, St. Charles area with the baseball. I mean, we don't have time to think about anything else outside of there because getting out of this area with the teams that could, not just in the GAC, but you go look at like the St. Dominic's of the world and the Westminsters and all them types of schools. I mean, they're making it difficult. I kind of in my head I think of the way to obviously get to state, or if you want a chance to win state, you got to beat those schools in this area, you know, and then you possibly think of those other schools. But if you can compete with the schools here, your standing in the state should be pretty good.
We've been saying this for 2 months. There is so much talent in St. Charles County alone.
Yes.
You add St. Louis County to that.
Yeah.
And then we just talked about Warrenton will have a guy, or you get down to Jefferson County, they have a guy. In Kansas City's got talent too, but there's so much talent on this side, but sticking to the GAC, St. Charles County, that you don't need to go far to watch legit dudes playing baseball.
No.
Exactly. And I think, to your point, it is hard to think outside of this because you're so focused on, I got to beat. You know, it's tough to beat Westminster.
He's got to worry about himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about the other state. He's got to worry about himself. And kudos to you, man. I get it.
All right.
I understand.
I'd be the same way.
So you're stacking up there. Say you're in that class 4, you know, back again. You got a run in you?
I believe we do. I do, and it all depends on matchups and like rest days and all that stuff. I mean, with our top 3 pitchers, I have no problem going against anybody. No problem. Because I know what those guys bring to the table. I know that they're going to give us a chance, and also all I care about is giving us a chance. And then, you know, but we have to swing it. I know what Ray can do swinging the bat. You know, I believe I know what Josh will bring. I have a lot of confidence in what he's going to do. And then, you know, with Grant, we got Hunter, Cease, he's one of our outfielders. I know those guys will compete. Can we get 5 other guys to help out that process?
Yeah.
That's what's going to be interesting, and that's what we're going to find out this year. If we can swing it, we can compete. Now, if we can't swing it, it's going to be a struggle. Just to be realistic, it's going to be a struggle. But I like our pitching. I like the way we potentially we can play defense. It's just if we can swing it.
Very good. Very good. A lot of unknowns there, right?
Yeah. And I think we also need to give kudos to St. Charles West for, I don't know because we were talking earlier, the facility.
Yeah.
They've done a lot to that, the outskirts of that field.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a really nice place to watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to go out and watch a baseball game, wants to watch St. Charles West, they've done a lot to it, make it a lot more comfortable and inviting for an outsider.
Tell us what you guys got out there.
Well, obviously we got our field. It's like you said, it's on the other side of 40 from our school. But we got our...
it's in the North 40.
Yeah. We got our baseball field. Our tech construction people built those stadium stairs, kind of like had Hal North, where you bring your lawn chairs.
Concrete.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Because
Yeah.
you bring your lawn chair, kick. That's
Concessions.
nice.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the concession stand. We got a locker room now that dedicated for the baseball team and stuff. So we've got a lot of things going, and we're still, you know, and there's still a lot of other things we want to do. We want to put in a new bullpen area because our bullpen area is kind of slacking a little bit, but that's something that is going to be in the works. So, you know, it's hard pressed around here, especially the public school, to have facilities that we have. And I know there's other schools that got tremendous facilities, but I mean, we're right there with everybody else.
Baseball seems to be the last sport they dive money into facility-wise.
Yeah.
So I think you have to give kudos where kudos is due. And
I agree.
They
man.
did, so
because I
shout
think
out to
that's
them.
that shows a lot of positive growth towards baseball for these high schools, and I think it needs to be.
Well, there's
'cause-
other high schools that are turfing that are doing other things in
Yeah.
general. So
Yeah.
when a school steps up and does something, I think it's now who paid for it. I have no idea. That's not my business. But it was whoever stepped up and said, "Hey, let's do this."
Right.
Kudos to them.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I know the parents, but before I even got there, had a lot to do with you know, the way that stadium looks right now with the I think parents help build the dugouts and stuff. And we have work
great.
Yeah, and we have work days.
I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Afterwards, but like first week of practice, the parents will come and we'll help get the field ready to go. And I know our maintenance and Mr. Edding does a great job of just providing us with whatever we need to keep that field up to snuff.
I love the baseball community, man. Good luck to you, bud.
Oh, appreciate you. Hopefully, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys doing this for all the coaches around here and stuff to give a chance to kind of talk about their team and just to talk a little baseball. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. March 1st can't get here fast enough.
Boy, I agree, especially with today, the weather out there today.
Coaching baseball in the spring in St. Louis is awesome, but coaching baseball in the cold is something that I coach football and it could be this weather and I'm fine. Go out there and coach baseball in this. It's
and we're a little
desirable.
We're a little better here than Nebraska, right, bro?
Yeah, we played games in actual snow. I remember when I was in high school, I was a junior and playing against this team. And I remember getting a hit first inning. It was a good hit, but I hit it off the end of the bat. And my hands were done the rest of the game. I usually took it really personal, striking out and whatever. I did not care. I did not care.
Oh, man. Hey, Nuru, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, look, it's going to be some great baseball out here. Again, high school students, get out there, support your teams, great facilities. They got some new stuff. Go check them out. We love that part of it. Want the fans to be, there's going to be some really good, you got some great pitching coming up here with this team. So go support your teams, get out there. Again, guys, if you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button, hit that dinger, get the notifications. All you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. All you hitters,
Hit them where they ain't.
there you go. Everybody have a great day in the Lord, and we'll see you next time.